Hi, I'm Gail Janeczek, park interpreter at the Fall River Heritage State Park. Today we're on the boardwalk by the Pollinator Garden to talk a little bit about pollinators and milkweeds and monarchs. A pollinator is an animal that moves pollen from the male part of a plant to the female part of the plant. This allows the plant to produce seeds, fruit, and young plants. Do you like blueberries? I love blueberries and apples and squash and tomatoes and lots of other fruits and vegetables. I bet some of your favorites are in there too. If you love fruits and vegetables, you probably also love pollinators. The reason why is without pollinators, we actually wouldn't have about a third of the plant foods that we rely upon in our diet. So behind me here is our pollinator garden that's located in the park. And the pollinator garden has an assortment of plants that appeal to bees, beetles, butterflies, and other insects. Our primary pollinators in this area are insects. You can visit the pollinator garden in the park anytime the season is warm to see insects and possibly birds such as hummingbirds using the plants to acquire nectar. So the insects and the hummingbirds are actually looking for nectar in the flowers, and almost by accident, they get pollen on their bodies. As they move to other flowers, they deposit the pollen, and this allows fertilization to occur. As I said, if you like fruits and vegetables, you should actually be a pollinator supporter, and there are easy ways that you can become a pollinator supporter. If you have space near where you live, perhaps in a backyard, or maybe just a pot on your porch, you can add flowering plants that help pollinators. So amongst the other plants and flowers that we have in the pollinator garden at Fall River Heritage State Park, we have a bunch of common milkweed. And we grow milkweed specifically to help monarchs. Some of you may know the connection between milkweeds and monarchs, but milkweeds are the host plant for monarch butterfly caterpillars. So monarchs seek out and lay their eggs on milkweed plants. When their eggs hatch, their caterpillars eat milkweed leaves, and frankly, only milkweed leaves. So without milkweeds, we actually would not have monarchs. Behind me, we have an assortment of milkweed plants in different stages, but since it's later in the summer right now, we're going to look at some milkweed plants and the seed pods that they're producing. If you've ever wondered why milkweed is called milkweed, it's because of the latex-like sap that the plant produces. If you break a leaf, you'll actually see that the plant produces sap to seal the wound, and it's a milky white, almost like latex sap. So I was gonna open this pod and show you what the milkweed seeds look like. So you can see in here, they're very tightly packed in the seed pod. And when the seeds ripen, the pod turns brown, the pod opens, and the seeds are actually released and they float off, almost like a dandelion seed. So here's some of the seeds. And these seeds will overwinter and then produce new plants in the spring. One of the insects that we frequently see on the milkweed plants that aren't pollinators are ladybugs. And so people ask, well then what are the ladybugs doing on the milkweed plants? Milkweeds tend to attract aphids. and ladybugs and their larvae love to eat aphids. So they're very smart, and that ladybugs also lay their eggs on the milkweed plants, so when their young hatch, they have aphids to eat. So this plant with the beautiful orange flower is called a coneflower or echinacea. You often see coneflowers in and around butterfly gardens because pollinators love them. They're attracted to the plant for its nectar, and if you leave the seed heads on the plant in the fall, you'll find that goldfinches and other seed-eating birds love to visit the dried plant to eat the seeds. One of the amazing ways that monarchs and milkweeds have evolved together is that monarch caterpillars have the ability to incorporate a toxin that's present in milkweeds into their body tissues. The toxin doesn't hurt the caterpillars at all, but it actually makes them toxic to birds and mammals. The monarch caterpillar is a brightly striped yellow, white, and black caterpillar, so it tends to stand out from other caterpillars. Once a bird or a mouse consumes one of these bright caterpillars, it rapidly becomes sick. So the mouse or the bird learns not to eat monarch caterpillars. As the caterpillar matures into a butterfly, they maintain that toxic chemical in their bodies. So a bird who catches and eats a monarch butterfly quickly learns that it's not a good meal or snack. In another section of our pollinator garden, we have a plant called dog bane. We're later in the summer, so we're past bloom, but you can actually see some of the long, skinny seed pods on the dog bane, which look sort of like very thin string beans. Dog bane is a host plant for some of the neatest moths that live in Massachusetts. We have 2 species of hummingbird moth that lay their eggs on this dog bane. So if you love blueberries and apples and other delicious fruits and vegetables, that means you should be a pollinator supporter. So you can visit the Pollinator Garden here at Fall River Heritage State Park to learn more, but you can also visit our website at mass.gov, Growing Wild Massachusetts, for more information.